bright, inquisitive, stellar, and certainly anticipatory. He's taken our most rigorous classes and is a National Merit Scholar. A tenor sax player, Niraj has been a member of our band since middle school. He's made all area and all region for several years running, and his directors consider him a standout musician and leader. Niraj's classmates elected him governing council president last spring, and he's proven himself to be an exemplary president. With the goals of making the council more active in building community, Niraj set forth with the idea of planning one governing council event per month. He has worked tirelessly to achieve his goals and has motivated his fellow council members to join in. Together they have hosted an outdoor movie night, an all-school holiday breakfast, and a dodgeball tournament. This year's council has been among the most successful ever, and Niraj's impact will be felt for years to come. Next year, Niraj will attend the University of Southern California. I welcome Niraj Mehta to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. North, for the kind introduction, for making me sound fairly impressive. As I understand, it's no easy task. Everyone here, I told myself I wouldn't cry, but I make no promises. You see, the past 2 weeks have been a tear-filled experience in my house. My mom was crying all the time because me, her last son, was leaving the house. My brother was crying because the office ended. My dad was also crying, but that's because I recently got into 2 car accidents in 2 different cars. That is sadly true, and sorry, Pop, I guess vehicles are not my thing. And I was crying too. I was crying because I realized that all the good speech topics were taken by Jake Pardee, Dr. Harris, Pastor Peterson from St. Luke's, and Miss Doran. So sorry, y'all. I have no idea how to start this. I guess I'll start by saying it's an honor to be speaking in front of for my classmates in front of all their friends and family. It's not nerves that are holding me back, it's just originality, so here we go. My fellow American, no, okay. Webster's dictionary defines graduation, no, that's cliche, that's terrible. Okay, West Philadelphia, born and raised, on the playground, actually, no, I'm sorry, that's terrible, that's awful. All right, okay. Bottom line, the quartet of speakers I mentioned did an incredible job advising and celebrating this class of 2013. Almost too good of a job, in fact. They've said it all, and they've said more. There's just nothing left. Several of them even used the brilliant line, "Our class cannot be described by the sum of its achievements." Let me tell you one thing. That sentence is speech gold. If I had $1 for every time I heard that gem this past week, that'd be a really weird way to make money, but I would use that $7 to probably buy my own cool graduation theme. But there's no point in throwing in the towel. If there's one thing Kinkaid High School didn't teach us, is how to say can't or won't, because they don't teach contractions to people over the age of 16. I will give it, though, my best shot at commemorating us, and then I'll add on to the stack of advice we've already received. So what can you say about this fine group of alumni in the making that hasn't already been said by the not only aforementioned speakers, but also by the nearly weekly award ceremonies and presentations? Apparently not much. So bear with me, class of 2013. I know you've heard all this before, but maybe the audience doesn't realize, and we should take one last chance to brag. After all, modesty is not a core value. And so I agree with Jake and Miss Doran. Our achievements don't determine who we are, but it doesn't stop those achievements from being totally radical. Let's start with athletics. Just look at the bleachers you're sitting on, the field I'm standing on, the facilities that surround us, and all the things that are going to be built on the new land. They didn't build all this for losers, if you know what I mean. Whether it's Win Reynolds or Nick Whaley serving up success in our courts, or Matty Holmes draining fadeaway jumpers, our class has more SBC champions and finalists than any other school in Houston. There's Harris Green, who's been to an unbelievable 4 consecutive SBC finals across 3 sports. And there's Laura Rathnell and Megan LaForge, leading probably the best ages 15 through 18 badminton team in the 77024 area. And let's not forget our dear managers, who revealed new answers to the questions. What will you do to get that final sports credit? But it's important to know that looks, they can be deceiving. We're not all brain. We're not all brawn, we've got the brain. There's Eric Sung dominating math competitions and our perfect SAT and ACT scores. There's Hamza Tariq and Zach Rosenthal, the Arian Foster and Andre Johnson of the debate world. Certainly, I could go on and on about the academic achievements. I could, but I won't. As Mr. North said, we just had Honor Day, and if I tried to subject the senior class to another one of those, they'd probably violently revolt on stage. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's definitely great seeing how smart and achieved my classmates are, but I think it could do with more entertainment, like maybe make the finalists race for the prize. Like, can you imagine, like, the John Fontaine Scholarship winner tackles the best research paper recipient honored to their victory? But I won't rave about that for much longer. I won't rave about Maddie Geringer and Carrie Walker, our Tommy 2 nominees in Chicago, which, by the way, is easily the best musical I've seen in my 4 years. Or about our band, led by Reed Sellers, the conductor, who are kicking tail in this unbelievable heat, let me tell you that. Or the thousands of other things we rock at. I don't want to talk about the character of this group. Like, our commitment to the core 4 values. When Charles Bell notes that I'm, quote, an injustice to the sport of table tennis, or when Jacqueline Jacoby tells me last week that, quote, today is the worst I've looked in months, it's simply honesty and respect. They want me to get better. If you want to talk about kindness, this is a really tight-knit bunch. Want to know how close we are? Just look at some of the couples in the halls. Not naming names, but some of them haven't been physically separated since February. And if that isn't an impressive feat, I don't know what is. And if you wanted to see kindness in its pinnacle form, just try keeping on your bad day after you see the infectious smile of Matt Ellis. Oh, did I say Matt Ellis? Oh no, I meant Mallory Burns. Mallory Burns is the best smile. Her smile warms my heart. Matt Ellis, I don't think I've ever seen him smile. And what about responsibility? Like all of our class hosts who every weekend will accept all of us into our homes whether they want to or not. You know who you are, and we thank you. The only thing greater than my classmates is this school that we call our own, one that truly cares. They locked us up safe and sound, and they threw away the key when power outage struck. And how about the $6 pens in the school store? In the past, I would lose pens all the time. Now I think twice about losing a pen that costs the same amount as a box combo from Cane's. Sorry, faculty, no biting sarcasm for y'all tonight. You put up with enough of my shenanigans for 4 years for me to dare to add to it right now. Plus, they all know that you rock. So, I think that's enough gloating for the evening. I think it's a good time to shift the gears to the advice. Though I may not be as worldly or as wise as Dr. Harris, or Michio Kaku, or Mr. Creedon, or the rest of the incredible people that this school attracts every week to talk to us, I'm at least as hydrated. All joking aside, but really, my phenomenal classmates in this outstanding institution has truly made for a great high school career. But one thing always gets to me, always grinds my gears. It's when people tell me that high school is the best time of one's life. Entering senior year, I heard it a lot from various adults. The idea itself, it's malarkey. Yes, I said malarkey. Mr. Loach, make note that I did not curse tonight. Because I sure hope we didn't reach the primes of our lives as teenagers. I plan on having my life to continue to get better at least until I'm 40, and then I'll probably pull a Charlie Sheen to spice things up a little bit. The truth of the matter is this. None of us here, no one on stage has peaked. And as good as these 4 years were, and they were good, we're not going downhill yet. The peaks of our mountains are somewhere off in the distance. Somewhere we don't know and somewhere we will never know. As kindergartners, we were at base camp. And while we haven't made it all the way, we're much higher than when we started. The way we made it here is how we'll continue and how we'll finish our climb, through self-improvement and through learning. I don't mean just working at a top job at a top law firm or getting a high GPA. And I don't even mean studying or going to classes. I mean a constant effort to amplify our knowledge and therefore augment ourselves. It doesn't have to come out of your university or come out of sitting at your desk and reading A-Push over and over until, we're not going to talk about it. Going to college might be that next big climb, but it certainly should not be our last. Famous Kung Fu master Bruce Lee reminds us that there are no limits in life. only plateaus. We can't stay where we are. Like Miley Cyrus in The Climb, we gotta go up. As I've described in gloating about our accomplishments, there's as much potential in the people seated here as there is in any high school class in the country. We already have success, so let's build on it. Compared to the world, our peaks can be the Everests, the Kilimanjaros, and you can't scale those willy-nilly. No, to get there, it takes dedication. Dedication to knowledge and dedication to learning. This school and our magnificent teachers have taught us more than just the rise of fascism in Europe or trigonometric functions or electron zone geometry. They've taught us how to be learners and they've taught us how to be scholars. And through that, they've given us the means to tapping into our potential. 12th century Andalusian philosopher Abu Bakr ibn Tufayl, sorry any Andalusians for butchering that pronunciation, wrote the novel Alive, Son of the Vigilant, in which an illiterate feral boy teaches himself everything there is to know in the world. And in doing so, he conquers it, and he conquers nature. If we learn all that we can make this world ours. So let's conquer the world. Matt Henriksen, when you invent the next iPhone, the gadget that changes the world, you gotta give us first dibs. And Kate Benson, you have to be at least famous enough so the lock of your hair I cut off your head in freshman year is at least worth like $500 or so. Everyone here has in it to be their movers and shakers. Kids in AP US History in 2078 should read our names in Alan Brinkley's history textbook. Our names should be on the posters and billboards and the lips of citizens at their dinner tables. Alexander the Great, Mahatma Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, Lauren Rosen, Chase Howell, and Catherine Drews. This class contains the 133 strongest people I have ever met. Let's honor our teachers and honor this institution and use the boost they've given us to assail the mountains of our lives. Make Miss Miller proud, then turn that boundless potential energy into kinetic. Make Miss Lambert proud and do as Walt Whitman would have wanted us to do and commandeer our destinies. Make Madame Murdoch proud and do it as La Famille Française. Most importantly, let's make ourselves proud by achieving what we're capable of. Never stop learning, never slow down. We'll get to the tops of our mountains and we'll look over the world that we've conquered. So let's take our first steps now, our last steps together. Before I go, I'd like to say two last things. For one, I'd like to express my gratitude to Mr. North. I know you've gotten a lot of tributes lately, Mr. North, so I'd like to add one from your last batch of seniors. In our 14 years, I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt that Mr. North has been the best headmaster we've had. In all seriousness, I don't know how Kinkaid will manage without you, Mr. North, but I thank God I won't be here to see it. So we, the class of 2013, we thank you, Mr. North. Secondly, a big thank you to all the friends and families of my classmates for dealing with us. I know that honesty is a core value, and honestly, we've been quite a chore for the past 18 years. Y'all are a rock, quite simply. I don't know what we'll do without you guys for our next 4 years and beyond. Mom, Dad, and Ashwin, I'll always be your Nina, baby, don't worry. And a special thanks to those who came from all across the world to be here. Another point of bragging, my grandparents came from India, so I'm the best again. I'm kidding. But thank you guys, I love y'all. So, to conclude, I told Mr. North after the senior banquet last week that I considered being president the most rewarding experience of my academic career so far. I was mistaken. Being president has only been a facet. Ultimately, my 4 years here are the experience themselves, and the reward is not only the piece of paper, the diploma that I will proudly clutch when I walk out of here, but the change that this school has genuinely evoked within me. That change has transformed all of us here from awkward, brace-faced freshmen into the men and women we are today. We're clearly more learned now than we were fish, but more importantly, we're greater learners. I'm glad I've taken this journey with y'all, the Kinkaid class of 2013, and I'm as glad it doesn't end here. Never stop learning. Be scholars from when you set in university halls and for every day after that. But most of all, never stop being excellent. Be excellent students, athletes, artists, leaders, men and women. Be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. Good luck topping that, President Powers. So, class of 2013, let's graduate.
That was terrific, Niraj. Thank you very much. It's now my pleasure to introduce Tad Mayfield, Chair of the Board of Trustees at Kinkaid, who will introduce our graduation speaker.